Assalamualaikum, good evening. Claims that the Batang Lupar Bridge construction project was only delayed by the Pakatan Harapan government instead of being cancelled are untrue. Sarawak Premier Datuk Patinggi Tan Sri Dr. Abang Abdul Rahman Zohari Tun Datuk Abang Openg stressed.
According to him, the narrative was deliberately employed without being based on real facts to mislead the people on the history of the implementation of the project. He said that the allegation that the allocation of the project was diverted to finance the construction of the Sabah-Sarawak Link Road SSLR was also unfounded because the project also commenced work for a few years later.
Tapi saya mengatakan di sini, kalau benar-benar untuk Sabah Sarawak Link Road, Sabah Link Road baru diusahakan last year. Itu berapa lama lah. Memang ada udang sebalik batu. Tetapi kita di Sarawak bertahan dan dengan adanya perpaduan erat di antara rakyat Sarawak dan kami dalam GPS dapat menyelesaikan masalah dana, kita teruskan usaha kita untuk menghubung kawasan dua bandar. Bukan saja dari sudut jambatan Batang Lupar. Batang Lupar pula ada dua. Semua jambatan-jambatan yang kita bangunkan adalah menggunakan dana Sarawak sendiri.
He said this at a press conference after completing the Batang Lupar 1 bridge opening ceremony here on Thursday. Commenting further, Datuk Patinggi Abang Zohari said the decision to cancel the construction of three main bridges at the time, namely the Batang Lupar Bridge, the Igan Bridge and the Rambungan Bridge, put pressure on the Sarawak government, which at the time was on the opposition side at the federal level.
Mereka telah memutuskan bahawa jabatan ini tidak perlu dibina. Kononnya, wang itu dana dikehendaki untuk Sabah Sarawak Link Road. Dan ketika itu juga kita melihat bahawa memang oleh sebab GPS telah ditubuhkan, ia menjadi parti pembangkang di peringkat persekutuan dan menerusi kerajaan negeri. Memang yang coba kita susah. Dan saya selaku pemimpin GPS dan rakan-rakan para pemimpin Komandan Parti, kita telah mengatakan walaupun kita susah, kita akan cari penyelesaian. Dan dengan adanya penyelesaian, di mana kita melaksanakan apa peruntukan dalam perlembagaan kita, di bawah hak kita, saya telah dapat melaksanakan SST. Dan SST inilah kita dapat lebih pendapatan daripada pembayaran SST Petronas. Walaupun kita diheret ke mahkamah. Kita diheret mahkamah dan kita membawa kes itu ke mahkamah sebab kita kena heret. Alhamdulillah kita menang dalam kes tersebut. Dan sebab itu pendapatan kita di Sarawak bertambah dan kita gunakanlah pendapatan ini balik kepada projek-projek yang memberi keuntungan kepada rakyat Sarawak. Dan satu-satu projeknya ialah Jabatan Batang Lupar.
He added that the commitment of the Sarawak government eventually enabled the strategic bridge projects to continue using the state's own funding in order to improve the communication network and boost rural development in Sarawak.
The opening of the Batang Lupar 1 bridge does not merely complete another of Sarawak's iconic infrastructure projects, but also ends decades of residents' dependence on ferry services, bringing about major changes to the daily lives of local communities.
This change is clearly felt by residents who describe the 4.8-kilometer bridge as a catalyst for faster, more comfortable and safer travel, while also opening up new opportunities for rural economic growth. The Sarawak Premier explained that strategic infrastructure, such as bridges and roads developed by the Sarawak government, would open up more new markets for the marketing of the people's products, particularly agricultural produce, including agriculture-based goods.
Caranya ialah
kita bukakan kawasan luar bandar kita supaya ekonominya melonjak dan bermakna pendapatan rakyat luar bandar dapat ditingkatkan. Satunya dari sudut pembangunan pertanian dan perikanan, nelayan dan petani.
Speaking at the official opening ceremony of the Batang Lupar-1 bridge on Thursday, he said the infrastructure would further bring production areas closer to marketing areas so that the people's produce could be marketed, including outside Sarawak, thereby reducing the risk of losses from unsold produce.
Kita sudah ada pejabat di Brunei Darussalam. Kita sudah ada pejabat di Singapura. Hingga tilapia kita pun laku. Tiap-tiap minggu tilapia di batang air kita hantar ke Singapura. Kononnya tilapia kita taste-nya sedap. Bermakna income naik untuk mereka yang mengeluarkan ikan tilapia. Tidak lama lagi ikan terubuk dari Sebuyo, dari Batang Lupar, dari Daro, Batang Lasak. Dengan adanya jabatan Batang Lasak, silama lagi ikan lomek di Buruit. Semua naik harga sekarang sebab ada access to market.
On another note, the Sarawak Premier said Sarawak's success in realising the construction of the longest river crossing bridge in Malaysia reflects that the unity of people of various races and religions as the main foundation that enables the state's development agenda to be implemented successfully.
He said that the achievement not only symbolizes the state's engineering capabilities, but is also a symbol of the strength of the unity of the people, which is the cornerstone of Sarawak's progress. According to Datuk Patinggi Abang Zohari, the existence of the bridge should serve as a reminder to all citizens that the progress experienced today was born from the agreement of multiracial and religious communities that are firmly united in supporting the state's development agenda.
Biarlah ia mengingatkan kita yang berbilang kaum, berbilang agama, lihat jambatan, ini adalah hasil perpaduan kita. Perpaduan rakyat berbilang kaum, berbilang agama. Inilah dia. To remind us how important it is for us to be united.
For the record, the Batang Lupar-1 bridge is designed as a one-way, dual-land bridge crossing the Batang Lupar, complete with 87 river piers and built according to JKR R5 standards. With an overall length of 4,884 meters, the project is among the most significant bridge structures ever developed in Sarawak.
The establishment of AirBorneo is not aimed solely at profit, but rather to ensure that the people enjoy better, affordable and comprehensive flight access, thus strengthening Sarawak's connectivity with domestic and foreign destinations.
The Sarawak Premier said that the Sarawak Government Strategic Initiative also serves to stimulate economic growth, tourism and open up more opportunities for the people and the business community. Taking the example of AirBorneo's recent announcements of flight ticket pricing, he stressed that it will fully benefit the people, particularly during the festive season.
But at least I can stabilize the fare. Sila orang kita tok gila. Mayau tiket mahal gila. Ya baru seorang 700, 800. Belum bininya lagi. Belum anaknya lagi. Gini nak datang kaya. Gini datang kawai. Sila kita banyak di Johor kaya. Nya nak balik juga.
The Sarawak Premier also expressed the possibility of further lowering the price of flight tickets depending on the state's continued prosperity. Touching on the impact on Sarawak's economy, Datuk Patinggi Abang Zohari insists that the initiative would not significantly affect the economy, but instead give returns to the state.
Ia tidak akan menjejaskan ekonomi kita, tetapi menambahkan ekonomi kita. Kerana banyak juga adik kakak kita dari Indonesia berubat di Kuching. Jadi kita mesti ada kapasiti. Dan cara kita menguruskan ekonomi adalah dengan cara yang berhemah. Prudent management. Ekonomi kita mesti disusun dengan baik.
The roar of high-powered motorcycle engines accompanying the Sarawak Premier's convoy from Batang Lupar-Sibu on Thursday did not merely mark a journey of more than 200 kilometers, but also reflected the state leadership's commitment to reaching out to the people and witnessing the first-hand development of areas along Sarawak's development corridor.
Immediately after officiating the Batang Lupar Bridge opening ceremony, Sarawak Premier Dato' Patinggi Tan Sri Dr. Abang Abdul Rahman Zohari Tun Dato' Abang Openg led a motorcycle convoy to Sibu via Pusa and Sarike, drawing the attention of residents who gathered at several locations along the route. At every town and junction, members of the public did not miss the opportunity to wave, take photographs and witness for themselves the convoy moving in orderly formation alongside the escort team, reflecting the disciplined teamwork and close cooperation of all parties involved. The first stop at Dataran Tandang Sari, Pusa, saw the Sarawak Premier spend time mingling with community leaders, ethnic chieftains and local residents in a relaxed atmosphere while enjoying light refreshments. The gathering served as a platform to strengthen ties between the state leadership and the local community before the convoy continued its journey to Sarike. Upon arriving at Masjid Al-Mutakin Sarike, Dato' Patinggi Abang Zohari and his entourage performed the Zohor and Asar prayer in combination Jama' before once again meeting with the community in attendance. The convoy was also joined by senior Sarawak government leaders, escort officers, Royal Malaysia Police PDRM personnel, media crew and support teams who together made possible the journey across several major divisions in the state.
AirBorneo's consistent offering of airfares around 375 ringgit throughout the year is an effort to stabilize airfares, thereby acting as a benchmark for other airlines.
Sarawak Premier Dato' Patinggi Tan Sri Dr. Abang Abdul Rahman Zohari Tun Dato' Abang Openg said that the approach aims to ensure that the people benefit from more stable fares without being affected by peak seasons or festive holidays. According to him, at the moment, the airfare to Kuala Lumpur and Singapore can increase up to 1,000 ringgit, while the economy class fare can reach around 800 ringgit at certain times.
AirBorneo, it is to stabilize the fare, and we are consistent throughout the year. 375 kita sedang naik, kita sedang turun. That will become a check to the other airlines. Kerana bagi kita Sarawak, we rely on air bridge, air connectivity.
He said this when speaking at the Sarawak Energy SEB Vendor Excellence Awards SEVEA 2026 at the Hikmah Exchange Event Centre HEEC here on Wednesday. The Sarawak Premier described the investment in aviation sector as not only beneficial to the airline but also to trigger economic spillovers to the tourism, hotel, food and other supporting industries. He said evaluating the return on investments from AirBorneo needs to be seen comprehensively on a macro scale that will affect the economy in the long term. He added that the development of the new international airport in Tanjung Embang together with AirBorneo will be a new catalyst that strengthens Sarawak's position as a regional economic hub and boosts the state's growth beyond the 2030 target.
On a related development, the Asian Development Bank ADB, together with several other international financial institutions, have shown interest in supporting the development of Tanjung Embang, particularly through green financing.
The Sarawak Premier said that the development of Tanjung Embang will focus on two main strategic assets, namely the seaport and the new airport, which will strengthen Sarawak's services and network of connection in the ASEAN region, thus attracting interest to support the development. He added that the free tertiary education initiatives introduced by the state's government is also a major factor because it is able to provide a highly skilled workforce in strategic fields such as semiconductors and future industries.
Ya, semalam saya menerima kunjungan daripada pengurusan atas ADB daripada Manila, dan mereka datang ialah untuk melihat peluang di mana mereka boleh membantu dari sudut supporting financial support, particularly green financing untuk kita membangunkan Tanjung Embang. Dan sebenarnya kita banyak hasrat daripada bank-bank yang lain, termasuklah VIIB dan juga bank daripada negara Jepun, kerana mereka berkeyakinan, confident hala tuju kita untuk membangun dalam sektor tenaga dan juga hala tuju ekonomi masa depan.
He added that the AirBorneo also received a positive response from investors, with the airline's second phase expected to connect Sarawak to Japan and Korea as a key route between Sarawak and companies investing in the state. Commenting further, the Sarawak Premier said that ADB is preparing a more detailed plan by involving the Sarawak Financial Secretary SFS as well as related industry players.
Dia akan memberikan perancangan yang lebih teliti. Dia akan engage dengan SFS dan juga kepada player. Kerana Tanjung Embang is not developed by government alone. Government hanya infrastruktur. Yang lainnya private sector.
He also added that Sarawak Energy Berhad SEB will develop 1 gigawatt of energy involving 2 gas turbines with a capacity of 500 megawatts each in Tanjung Embang, which is dedicated to meet the needs of industry in the area.
The Batang Lupar-1 bridge has created history after being officially recognized by the Malaysia Book of Records MBOR as the longest river crossing bridge in Malaysia.
Sarawak Deputy Premier Dato' Ahmad Douglas Uga Embang said that the recognition proves Sarawak capability in carrying out large-scale infrastructure projects that bring significant impact to the state's development.
Saya cukup berbangga kerana pada hari ini juga Malaysia Book of Record akan menyerahkan satu sijil mengakui bahawa jambatan ini, Jambatan Batang Lupar-Sibu, sebagai jambatan meranti sungai yang terpanjang di Malaysia.
He added that with an overall length of 4.844 kilometers and a value of 848 million ringgit, the bridge has become a new engineering landmark that Sarawak can be proud of. Touching on the challenges of its construction, Dato' Ahmad Douglas said the project was among the most challenging engineering projects in Malaysia as it was built in an estuary area with strong currents from multiple directions, powerful waves and complex geological conditions.
Namun, dengan perancangan yang teliti dan reka bentuk yang inovatif, jambatan ini berjaya dibina tanpa menjejaskan ekosistem Pulau Terusa, sekaligus membuktikan komitmen kerajaan Sarawak dalam melaksanakan pembangunan mengutamakan kelestarian dan alam sekitar.
At the height of the ceremony, Dato' Ahmad Douglas Uga also received the Certificate of Recognition from MBOR for the proud achievement of the Batang Lupar-1 bridge witnessed by the Sarawak Premier.
And that's the English edition with me, Fida'iy Hannan Sahni. More news can be found in our official portal ukas.sarawak.gov.my and social media platforms, including Facebook and YouTube. Ending the UKAS Bulletin with footage from the official opening ceremony of the Batang Lupar-1 Bridge in Sebuyau on Thursday. #Saluran Informasi Rakyat. Have a good night.